The Complete Bionicle Timeline Explained. I will be making a series of videos explaining the entire Bionicle timeline in chronological order. For most people, the Bionicle lore is seen as a huge beast. Well, here it is, all in one place, as a series. I'll break up the videos into about 10-minute parts based on years. It will truly be epic. Each frame of reference is a way of measurement from the ending of Bionicle's story in 2011 to relative to the past. So, therefore, when an event takes place, it does not have a year date, it is how many years ago it was. This will truly be epic. My sources in this video series will be Hit Bionicle website, Biosector 01, and my own knowledge of Bionicle. Don't need much else. Over 265,000 years ago, the Prehistory. It all begins with the great beings being the rulers of the highly advanced Glatorian and Agori civilizations, operating out of the Valley of the Maze. A creature called Anona, from below the planet, observes the great beings, wondering if they will prove to be a threat to her. The being called Anona attempts to drive the great beings into madness, but ends up inspiring them instead to create. Anona is forced deep underground by them, 265,000 years ago. Lane, an Agori of the Jungle Tribe, establishes the first trading post in the Great Jungle of Spherus Magna and becomes highly successful. The location where he establishes the port, a ford in the river, is named Lane's Drift after him. He later dies of natural causes. 150,000 years ago. The Great Beings create a giant prototype robot as an experiment, but the project fails because its power source is too unstable. The experiment was intended to see if building a large-scale creature was possible and could research the universe. Due to the failure, it explodes into pieces, and the pieces of the giant robot litter the Great Baron, and Agori and Glatorian use them for shelter. 103,000 years ago. The Iron Tribe is decimated by a plague caused by Anona. This plague prevents them from dreaming. The lack of being able to dream drives them mad. This results in most of them dying off due to hunger, madness, or suicide. The leader of the tribe pleads for assistance from other tribes, but receives none, other tribes fearing this plague will spread. The two survivors of this epidemic, the Agori Samid and the Glatorian Teleris, are ostracized by the other tribes for fear of infection, blaming the plague on the Iron Tribe's reverence of the Scopio. Teleris proposes to Samid to change the color of their armor to orange to try and become accepted in society. This effort fails due to everyone knowing who they are. 102,999 years ago to 100,200 years ago. To assist them in governing the civilizations of the Spherus Magna, the Great Beings endow 7 of the Glatorian warrior class with elemental powers, creating the Element Lords. These powerful beings acquire control of the existing tribes on the planet. From beneath the ground, a mysterious, powerful substance known as energized protodermis is discovered by the Earth Tribe. The Element Lord of Earth decides to wait for the substance to leak onto the surface of Spherus Magna, believing that it will lead the other tribes to war and planning to swoop in when they are weakened, so she could claim it for herself. The substance was highly addictive, and could both create and destroy beings. It could also as well as transform and mutate them. However, on the other hand, it was also sentient, and it had a mind of its own. Energized protodermis eventually leaks from the core of Spherus Magna to the surface. It is discovered by 2 Agori of the Ice Tribe who accidentally discover its unique and powerful properties as well. The Earth Tribe subtly encourages the Earth Tribe to keep the energized protodermis for themselves and not share with the other tribes, at the influence of the Element Lord of Earth. The Element Lords expect it will be shared evenly amongst the tribes. Even still, instead, as a consequence of the Earth Tribe's influence, the Element Lord of Ice built giant walls around the spring, sparking old enemies between the leaders from when they were first created. Conscripting warriors of the warrior class of Spirus Magna, the Element Lords engage in warfare like the planet had never seen before over the possession of the substance. The Great Beings attempt in vain to negotiate with the Element Lord to stop the war, dubbed the Core War. The Great Beings begin creation of the Great Spirit Robot. They design it using templates of their old failed prototype, but using an alternative power source. It is a massive, 40 million foot tall being, complete with thousands upon thousands of cells, beings who work inside it and will regulate the work. 100,199 years ago to 100,001 year ago. The Skrull are eventually drawn into the conflict by the Element Lord of Rock, and fight led by members of their own leader class. An Avmatoran named Takua, inspired by the Agori of Spirus Magna, is created by the Great Beings, the first thing in their creation of the Matoran universe, the universe that will live inside the Great Spirit Robot and govern it. The Earth Tribe remains neutral to the war, claiming to fear its destructive outcome, while secretly undermining any attempt to end the conflict, in hopes of obtaining the energized protodermis for themselves, when all sides of the war have tired themselves out. Iron Wolves are created by the Great Beings, then trained by the Glatorian Surel. They are used in a battle by the Ice Tribe. The Great Beings perfect the Matoran design. However, the Matoran do not have conscious thought or feel emotions. Despite being partially organic, they are simply robots for the time being. The foundation of the Matoran universe is also completed, and Matoran are set to work constructing the interior. Metronui is founded by the Great Beings, who lay its foundations. The actual construction work is done by newly made Matoran. During a major battle in the Forest of Blades, a number of soldiers are fused to the trees by the power of the Element Lord of Jungle. Trenkrom is also put in charge of fragments of the universe as the first Great Spirit. He also serves as a power source for it, until Madanui is created. The Great Beings create the Red Star as a booster jet for the Matoran universe. Several beings called Kestora are placed inside the Red Star. While this is going on, in the same battle, Vastus commands the Jungle Tribe and leads multiple sabotage operations that are successful. However, an accident causes an avalanche during one mission that kills a large number of civilian Agori. The Great Beings create Karzani and his brother, Artaka. Artaka and Karzani oversee the construction of their own realms. Galu and Surel deflect from the Ice Tribe after becoming disillusioned by the war. Surel, however, finds himself in another battle in the White Quartz Mountains and is later assumed dead for many, many years. The Great Beings create Krana and, accidentally, Zyglak from the remains of Matoran creation process. The Hand of Hartaka, a group pledging allegiance to Madanui, is formed to protect the Matoran as well. Forces from the Jungle Tribe fight against and are wiped out by a Rock Tribe patrol led by Strontius. Helrix, the first Toa, comes into being, and assists in the initial construction of the city of Metronui. The Great Beings also create the first Rahi, sea creatures of tremendous size, and later, the first smaller Rahi, later dubbed the Pit War Tortoise. Two Agori, Ranu and Kairai, are sent by the Great Beings to get a sample of energized prodermis. The Barag, queens of the Borak swarms, and the Borak Va are brought into being. The Toamata also come into being on Artaka, but remain dormant. After receiving and extensively studying the sample of energized protodermis found by the Agori, the Great Beings realized that the properties of the substance could destroy the planet if tapped into directly. The creation and colonization of most islands and continents in the Matoran universe is now completed. The Kanohi Ignika is forged in the fortress of the Valley of the Maze. The Great Beings create the Batera, a race of violent, mechanical assassins designed to kill any being they find holding a weapon, in an attempt to bring the Core War to an end. Certivus and an Ice Tribe force defeat several Sandtrob fighters, but are ambushed by the Skrull. Tarex leads a water tribe force to take advantage of this ambush and form a temporary alliance with the jungle tribe squad, led by Vastus. The combined forces search for supposed ice tribe tunnels, and they hide at the entrance when Malum and a fire tribe army enters the area. Vastus frames Tarex for attacking Malum, drawing Tarex and Malum's forces into a gruesome battle. Sertivus's squad ends the fight, and all three squads disperse. The Water Tribe and Fire Tribe, led by Tarex and Akar respectively, clash in the Great Jungle at the Field of Mist. Tarex leads the charge at a battle fought at Lane's Drift. Perditus, an agent of the great being Velika from the Fire Tribe, discovers plans for the Thornidus V9. He creates it, and several replica Thornidus are made. The Hand of Artaka is disbanded due to lack of discipline amongst its members and unorthodox exactness of justice. To replace the Hand, Toa Helrix directly founds the Order of Motunui, an organization that serves the will of Motunui himself.